I am joined in the studio now by Gerry Fowler. Good morning, Gerry.
Good morning, good morning.
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
We're here to talk about a pretty remarkable young fellow. His name is Cage. He's your grandson.
Yes, indeed. That's
yes.
Right.
Back on around May the 5th, Cage had an issue that was diagnosed as Bell's palsy. Is that correct?
That's right. On May 6th, he went into emerge because his right-hand side of his face was paralyzed, and he had trouble having trouble with that. So they went in, and the diagnosis, the original diagnosis, initial diagnosis, was Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy.
And they also complemented that by saying it was not neurological. So then we perceived Bell's palsy to be the case, and that was the case with some steroid treatment.
Oh, okay.
Until more symptoms started.
More symptoms started happening about 19 days later.
Yeah, about the 24th.
At school, playing at school.
That's right. His left leg started to not work quite well, and so the teachers were concerned. Parents picked him up, took him to emerge, took him back to the hospital again. Eventually, on that, I can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday. Then there was an MRI done, and then the message was, you need to go to Sick Kids immediately. We'll airlift you down there Thursday night. Didn't happen until Friday, and then the diagnosis was on Friday afternoon.
And that diagnosis was what?
It's a cancer called DIPG, and it's the nastiest of the nasty, actually, as far as childhood cancers go. They call it the last incurable childhood cancer, and it's not pretty. It's ugly. So,
I'm going to have a chart right here, actually. I don't know which camera you want me to show this at, but this chart then shows you the different kinds of cancers, and DIPG down here is the one that is so very rare. Do you know how many cases there are?
Sick Kids sees about 5 or 6 cases per year in Canada, in Sick Kids. There's about 30 in Canada per year, and 300 in the States.
Okay, so the diagnosis is one thing, and then the prognosis is...
Yeah, the prognosis isn't good because the challenge with it is this isn't a typical cancer or tumor that's on something or in something. It's actually where the cancer cells are melding with the brainstem cells, and so it's all one big mass. There's nothing identifiable. So
not focusing on the terminal aspect of the disease. What you have to do now as a caregiver, and you and your son and your daughter-in-law and the extended family are all now caregivers.
Yeah.
The focus is on every day.
That's right. Yeah. The practicality of this stuff is really quite hard, and when we got that diagnosis on the Friday afternoon, it was devastating, of course. But quickly the decision was made to make some rules in Cage's room, and the rules in Cage's room are: let's be happy, let's be joyful, let's find some good things to look at. Let's no tears in his room.
Cage is 5 years old, by the way.
Yeah, it's 5.
So.
And then and also no discussions about tumors and cancer in his room.
In his room, no.
To keep him from being afraid. There's enough things for the poor little guy to be afraid of.
The treatment.
The treatment, some of the treatments, the effects of the treatments, some of the other medications they have to give him are quite awkward.
You and I were talking about, the word you used was nebulous. The cancer itself and the prognosis is all, that's out there somewhere. But what's really present for you and what's really causing so much trauma is what this child is going through.
Yeah, well, the family as a whole, I mean, when you see it firsthand.
The bravery.
Yeah, bravery is a good word for it.
Yeah.
Because the challenge is, it's real. It is what it is, and we have it to deal with. So if we look long term on the whole thing, it's pretty dark and ugly. Mm-hmm. And we can't look long term, because if we focus on long term, then we'll be so focused on the negative that we won't have a chance to see the positive. Mm-hmm. And so we're looking for those little bits of light in the midst of the darkness. We're looking at those. It is day by day, but it's also hour by hour. It's minute by minute. And trying to find some light in the darkness, and trying to find some joy, some happiness, and look for the good things that are happening in all this. Because if we focus on the bad stuff, then you're not going to be able to focus on anything. So we're looking for the good stuff.
What is some of the good stuff?
Well, I think a little smile. I mean, just recently, of course, his smile was only half of his face, and so the medication, the steroids, but also the radiation, are reducing some of those symptoms. So a smile that included most of his mouth was pretty special.
Wow.
Just little things are special. A giggle is special. His attitude towards different things is special. Laughing with his dad and his mum is special. I mean, so the little giggles that we take for granted, we shouldn't take for granted. We don't take them for granted anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. What makes him giggle? Is there something in particular that makes him laugh?
Yeah, his crazy father.
Your son.
Yeah, and his mum. They're great. I have infinite respect and
it's not just your...
Infinitely proud of my son and Mandy, his mum. Their level of love and care for him is
and it goes beyond, it's into the community as well, isn't it, Gerry?
Oh, it's mind-blowing, actually.
Yeah.
It's humbling and mind-blowing in the same breath.
Let's take a little break. We're going to come back and we'll talk a little bit about the community involvement, what's going on for Cage and how we can support Cage and how we can support the family. I also want to talk a little bit about Cage's bravery in the face of some of the stuff that he has to go through with these treatments. I think people need to hear about what this young boy is facing. Okay, so stay with us. More with Gerry Fowler talking about Superhero Cage right after this brief message. Stay with us.